Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. You've had a wonderful week. As we approach the end of the week, I thought I'll do a transfer tips video, try and help you guys who are struggling to know which transfers to make. And I hope that this video will help you. And yeah, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for the amazing support on the channel. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, and also if you enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like. So first of all, I'm going to start off with the Gameweek 31 players. We have four teams with double game week. So I think that is Burnley, Everton, and I think Burnley and Everton have a double game week. So it will be good to have some of those players in. But for someone like Burnley, it's like they're having a single fixture because they play Man City, and Man City need to win all the remaining matches so that they can be able to win the league with Liverpool behind them. So the first player I'll be looking at maybe is Gordon there. I think just because he's cheap at 4.5 million, you could bench him anytime you want to bench him. So I think he's a very good option to have in there. Plays every match. The only problem with him is he gets a lot of yellow cards, and also another main thing I'll go for him is because Everton have 2 games to rearrange, which is Crystal Palace and Watford, which are also relatively easy fixtures. But Everton have not been performing very well. Maybe the win against their previous match will be able to give them the lift they need, and maybe they'll be able to perform well. And so Gordon is the main guy I'll be looking for to get into my team because he's a solid option and is very cheap. And then for the Burnley options, the one that we're looking at is Pope and Vegost, who are also good options to have in there. I think with them having a double game week in game week 31 and game week 33 makes them more appealing than the Everton players. So I think Pope is also a very good option, and so is Vegost. But we all remember what happened in the last double game week, where we got blanks from all the double game week players. So you never know what might happen. But I think it's always good to have a double game week player in your team, because I think it's more points than having a single game week player who blanks, the double game week player who blanks. So I think these are the people I'll go for the double game week 31, which comes after the international break. Now I'd like to talk about some teams which have caught the eye in the past few weeks and also have very easy fixtures on paper. So here we have Leicester. These are the 3 players maybe I'll be looking to bring in. Amati, just because he's cheap at 3.9 million. We have Barnes, who has been playing consistently every game week. So I think he's almost nailed on the team. And then here Nacho at striking, who is not nailed on, but I think he's the best striker that have at the moment. So I think he's also a good option. I know Game 31 they play United, and then Game 32 Crystal Palace. Then they have a very good double game week. I think this is the easiest double game week 33 that any team has in that game week. So I think Leicester players are a very good option to have in your teams. So here I've gone, as I've mentioned, these are the 3 players I'll look to bring. And also something to note, Leicester still have 2 fixtures to be rearranged. That is Chelsea and Norwich. So I think it's a very good pickup, and that they still have a lot of games to come in this short period that is remaining for the season. Then the other team I'll be looking at is Crystal Palace. just because Crystal Palace have the easiest fixtures on paper after game week 31 all the way to the last game week of the season, and they still have a game against Watford to be rearranged. So I think having Crystal Palace players is a good option, especially those people like Mateta at 5.2 million, who has been playing every game of late. Also, the good option is also Zaha at midfield, is also a decent pickup, and Gueye at centre back, which is also a good pickup, especially for his price at 4.5 million. I think Crystal Palace players might be big differentials, especially if you're looking to catch up to your friends in your mini leagues. I think Crystal Palace players are solid options to pick up for your teams because they just have easy fixtures and they are not heavily owned by people. So now I'd like to talk about the specific positions of players and where you might think of strengthening your team. So we have Cancelo, who I'm very surprised that now we can consider him as a differential, because if you look at many of your mini leagues, not many people own Cancelo at this point, because after the wild card, many players removed him from the team because they didn't have double game weeks and things like that. So I think Cancelo is worth picking up right now, 6.9 million. I reckon he'll go to 7 million very soon. So if you don't have the extra 0.1 million, I'll make sure that I go for him at the moment. And then Ben White from Arsenal, the cheap Arsenal defender. For the past 3 game weeks, he's outscored the likes of Tierney, who's 5.1 million. So you see, for that 0.6 million, it'll be worth the pickup. I'll also go for someone like Cedric, but with Tomiyasu most likely to come back after the international break, I think Cedric will be dropped for Tomiyasu. So I think now Ben White is the only good option to have for your team at the moment. And then for the midfielders, where we have Havertz from Chelsea, who is playing out of position, playing at striking at the moment, and has been scoring a lot of goals. So I think Havertz is also a solid option if you're looking for a Chelsea midfielder, because Havertz is always he's been on form, scoring goals, and I think is a good pickup, especially with their fixtures. And I think Havertz is a good option to have in there. And then Benrahma from West Ham. West Ham have the easiest fixtures from game week 31 to game week 33 on paper. And with Bowen out, I don't know when he'll be back. Benrahma is a very good option for now. Unless we get news that Bowen is back, I'll consider going for Bowen instead of Benrahma. With them playing Everton, Brentford, and Burnley, expect them to pick up the maximum points from them. And so I think Benrahma will be the instrumental player for them at midfield. So I think I'll go for him. And then Jota from Liverpool. Liverpool also need to win all their games, so I think they'll field their best starting 11. And I think Jota is part of that starting 11. So I think he's also a good pickup. 8.3 million is not that expensive, so I'll also go for him in my team. And I think those are very good solid midfield options to have in your team, and they can help you boost your rank. Then to the last part of the video, where we have the forward options. So here I've mostly looked at the cheap forwards, because I think people at this moment are also keen on the forwards and are looking to maybe boost their defense and their midfield. So I've gone for cheap forwards who are likely to play a lot of games for the coming period as we go to the end of the season. So I think these are the options I'll be looking at, and I hope they can be able to help you to free some cash from forwards and maybe boost your midfield and defense. So first we have Cucho Hernandez from Watford at 5 million. He's been on form. He scored I think 33 points in the past 3 game weeks, which is a very good option. and I'll definitely be looking at him just to maybe be able to free up funds from the attacking options. And then Gelhardt from Leeds, with Bamford out, I think he's likely to play more minutes now, because Leeds are lacking in a striker, and Gelhardt is a very good striker. He's come off the bench and scored twice to give Leeds good option, good points. So I think he's also a very decent pickup at 4.66 million. You don't have to play him; you can just be able to free up funds, as I mentioned. So he's a very good cheap option there, and you never know, he might come out to it scoring a lot of points. And then we have Huang from Wolves, with Jimenez suspended, I think, for 2 game weeks because it's his second red card. I think Huang will be the option to have at 5.4 million. It's not a bad pickup. He can just be a bench player as well. So I think he's also a good option to have in there. And I think these are the cheap strikers I'll be looking at. I can be able to free up funds for my team. And I think these are my transfer tips. I hope this video has helped you out in places where you are struggling, and I hope that you can be able to use them to your advantage. Anyway, with that, I'd like to thank you all guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. And with that, I'd like to say bye bye.